Anthony, you know where I have to start.
Let's go there.
I've got to start with the 40th anniversary of the Breakfast Club that you guys just had.
I don't know. I feel really very emotional and moved to have us all together. This is the first time that Emilio has joined us.
Oh, I skipped all of my high school reunions.
It's hard to believe, but that moment at the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo was the first time in 40 years that Anthony Michael Hall, Molly Ringwald, Emilio Estevez, Ali Sheedy, and Judd Nelson all shared the stage since their iconic day of detention. And nope, fans have not forgotten.
Don't you forget about me.
And the five of you, though, walk back on stage together. What is that moment like?
It was nice. You know, I've been doing those shows for a number of years, and I have a lot of fun traveling the country and doing Comic-Cons and all that. But, you know, Emilio.
But you didn't have Emilio.
Right. It was the first time Emilio had joined us. And you know what? He had a good experience. I talked to him about it afterwards. And I kind of checked in with him. And said, you know, it was really fun. You know, I said, listen, man, just meeting people and people that have supported us all these years and just have fun with it and go with it.
When you process it now and you look back, I guess I'm trying to pick it apart. Like, what the crowd looked like. Were they just...
Oh, it was a trip.
Could you describe the ruckus, sir?
Watch your tongue, young man.
People that are my age, I'm older than you, of course, but you know, then there's also people show up and they're like, my grandmother would love you to sign this. I'm like, that's great, thank you so much. But you know, with Hughes, particularly that film, Nischelle, I think it's interesting because it continues to find younger generations. I think it has a very positive message about how we're all more alike than we're different, you know.
Yeah.
And it also has kind of an anti-bullying vibe and message there too. But it's evolved to be a movie that really matters to people, and I really appreciate that. I'm grateful.
Well, I still walk around quoting you from that movie, and I'm sure you know what line I'm talking about.
Chicks cannot hold their smoke. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Chicks cannot hold their smoke.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So good. Molly mentioned at the reunion that you guys had that she doesn't think the Breakfast Club should be remade.
I personally don't believe in remaking that movie because I think this movie is very much of its time. It resonates with people today. But if you, I believe in making movies that are inspired by other movies, but build on it and represent what's going on today. You know, this is very, you know, it's very white. This movie, you don't see a lot of different ethnicities. We don't talk about gender, none of that. And I feel like that really doesn't represent our world today.
What are your thoughts about that? I'm kind of on that too. Like, it's such a classic. Maybe just don't do that to us.
Right. I think the message cuts through and is significant and lasts, but certainly, you know, in terms of a much more modern world we're living in now, and it could have certainly been more multi-ethnic of that time. It just wasn't for whatever reasons. But the truth is, I think overall, I think the impact of the film and the subject matter was important. I think that holds up. But yeah, I think some films are best not to touch. Maybe just, you know, it's a document for that time.
Let us have this one. Just let our generation have this one.
Right. No, I think that's fair.
By the way, there's a little thing we have called the ET Vault, and it never disappoints.
Okay.
I mean, you know, Entertainment Tonight has been around for a long time, and we've been with you.
I sense
from
some
pretty
footage
much
is
the
coming
very
here.
beginning.
Okay, hold
yes,
on.
we were on set of The Breakfast Club back in 1984, and so I want to take you back. Have you take a look at this.
Okay, great. Oh, this is
play right there.
Look at this. I look like an embryo.
Are we rolling? We're rolling. Hi guys. I wish I was an A student, you know. I'm a beast. No, I'm more of a loudmouth, as you can tell. I've been not really a class clown, I'm a little more outgoing. I do okay in school though.
I have a 2-year-old now at 57. Give it up for old dads, but it's so fun. The first thing I see is my son's face, you know. But this is a trip.
Yeah, you said there that you were kind of the loudmouth in school. Do you still consider yourself the loudmouth?
Well, first of all, because of John Hughes, I had skipped most of high school, so I can't really say I was a good student. But yeah, I was a bit of a class clown, I think. I was very happy to leave school and go to work. I wasn't the best high school student, but I did my best. I got a GED out of it, at least.
Well, there you go. You said you saw your son's face in that face when you look at that guy.
Yeah. He's almost 2 now, which is a trip. It's a blessing.
Yeah, the first-time dad and wife of 4 years, Lucia, welcomed their first child, Anthony Michael Hall II, in 2023. And he pretty much is a carbon copy of this youngest member of the Brat Pack.
in a few years, that 2-year-old comes to you and says, Daddy, I want to do this, what you did. What do you say?
Well, he's already kicking my ass now. He hasn't even got out of the playpen, but he's amazing. I mean, I would support whatever he wants to do, but I tell you, it gives you a fresh perspective. It's a trip, Nischelle, because honestly, I just turned 57 about a week ago. So I have all these movies that are over 40. I feel like George Burns, Nischelle. It's good to be anywhere at my age.
We hit on The Breakfast Club, but you also hit on the fact that 16 Candles, you were in that as well. That's turning 40 this year as well. You definitely do have some milestone years for them. What are the odds that we can get like the OG 16 Candles cast back together again?
Hey, you never know. You never know. Never say never, as they say, right? That was just a great experience for me because John Hughes, you know, he really saw something in me as a kid. Just in terms of comedy. And my heroes growing up were people like George Carlin, Richard Pryor, and I think that's where a lot of those bits came from. I would actually come to set and do, you know, imitate Richard from old records.
You would?
Yeah. So that's actually what kind of inspired that, you know, so. And John was open to that. But yeah, we have nothing but great memories on that film.
What's happening, hot stuff?
Do you still keep in touch with that cast?
I do. You know, I see a lot of them. As you know, the Breakfast Club I just ran into, I saw them, and you know, you pick up, you see people. You know, Hollywood is like campus. You kind of run into people. You know the deal. You know, at work or on the lot or in pursuit of work. You know, you're running into people that you've worked with or have been aligned with in the past. It's always cool. It's great.
What about Michael? You know, we every woman I know is in love with Jake Ryan.
Jake Ryan, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you were here, I could deceive you.
What about Michael? Like, do you
Michael
still
Schaeffer, you know what's interesting?
Yeah.
I think he married his high school sweetheart, and he moved back to Pennsylvania in the late 80s. I think he did a movie called Vision Quest after we did 16 Candles, and then he decided to take another round in life, which you have to respect.
He's that enigma that we all are kind of like, what is he doing? Where is he?
Yes.
You know, what does he look like now?
Where is Mr. Handsome when we need him?
Where is he?
No, he was a great guy. To be honest with you, it was fun. You know, on that set, he was like a big brother to me. He was real cool.
Nice.
So we hung out a lot, actually. You know, even though I was like a little kid.
Farmer Ted.
Farmer Ted. Yeah.
Ted. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Farmer Ted. I'm not really a farmer. I'm a freshman.
How do you think those two films, though, in particular, and I guess you can throw Weird Science into that too, kind of like helped with the trajectory of your career, or even maybe set you on the trajectory of your career?
Absolutely. You know, there are people. Like, there's that old saying, I think it was Isaac Newton or somebody great, you know, that we're all standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah.
In my career, it was people like Harold Ramis, Matty Simmons before him, the founder of the National Lampoon, and of course John Hughes, you know, Lorne Michaels, people that gave me a break as a kid.
Boy, that was some tornado we had last night, huh?
I'm telling you, if you ask me, it was the worst one all week.
Speaking of, you were talking about Lorne Michaels. You were the youngest member ever on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. Another 40-year-old credit. I was on SNL back in the day.
That season, I mean, they dubbed your season the weird season
Yeah.
of SNL.
Yeah.
What do you remember most about that time? I guess separate and apart from the fact that you were the youngest person ever.
Well, here's what it was. I think Lorne created the show in 1975, and then he produced it for 5 years, and then he walked away.
Yes.
So this was the 11th season, the one that I was on way back in the day, in '85. So I think there was a lot of trepidation, not just from Lorne, but also from the network to see if this would go on. So I think they was on shaky legs itself, the show. So it was challenging, you know, and also the pressure to be funny. But SNL's a trip, you know, you're dealing with so much. There's a live audience there. It's like rock and roll theater, stand-up. It's like everything rolled in one. And I'm just amazed to this day. You know, I have such respect for all the people that come through that system, all the men and women. Yeah.
And it's still relevant to this
Incredible.
day?
Because that week when you're doing it, Nischelle, you probably heard this from many people. I mean, it's a grind. You come in on a Monday and we're working long days, rehearsing around the clock from Thursday to Friday. And then Saturday, we do the show twice. So it really is intensive.
So that was Anthony then, but what about now?
Welcome to the team, Reacher.
Anthony will join season 3 of Prime Video's Reacher, playing a businessman with possible criminal motives. He also produced and co-stars in the new sci-fi thriller Roswell Delirium on digital and on demand now.
That was the last day I saw her, the day I was taken.
Was that the first and only time you've been abducted?
And for fans of the facts of life and family matters, the film has some familiar faces.
Reminds me of my childhood.
We have some great performances in it. In the show, we have D. Wallace Stone, we got Sam Jones, we have
Reginald Vell Johnson is
yes,
great. Lisa Whelchel, yes.
Lisa Whelchel, a bunch of great people.
The urban legend and delusional world that is known as Area 51, now known as Space Rock.
And a bunch of really talented young actors. So it's kind of a love letter to the 80s.
I've seen it. It's an emotional trip.
Right, good. Well, thank you for watching it. It's a really beautiful film, and it has elements of sci-fi. As a reference point, it's a little bit of Close Encounters, a little bit of terms of endearment, insofar as it's a family drama. It really focuses on the relationship between a mother and a daughter.
Your mind created a false world to protect you from what happened to you as a child. And that is what we all now know is Roswell Delirium.
I just feel grateful for the work. I got such an early start in the game and working in our industry, and just been a privilege, so you just keep chipping away at it, as we know. Thank you, E.T., for all the years.